Welcome to part 4 of Via Infinito. You think I'm going to go through the whole entirety of Cloisters 81 through 99, but actually I'm just going to show off the only Cloister left to be shown, and the only 7 monsters that need to be shown, one of which you have to fight for in order for you to have come here, and that's Ozzy Dahaka. I'll show him off later on, but more importantly, I need to point out something too. The following monsters that I'm going to be showing, as I'm about to step down in that godforsaken portal, those monsters, if you have not already oversold them, well, if you already oversold them, you more than likely need to just stay away from them. But only if for the end purposes is if you have to fight them. Arania, it's okay, but all the others, not so much. Anyway, this is where their appearances are. Shaq is the one you have to worry about the least, because all you need to do is go down 4 Cloisters. Anyway, next up is the Megaton Berry. The thing about the Megaton Berry, he uses a nasty move called Karma, un-oversold mind you, but more importantly he's going to attack with a Chef Knight, which will bypass, or at least do some serious damage if you have on Protect. The thing is, he will also oversoul if you take 75% of his health away and not finish him off. And that's when he starts using Firaga and also using a nasty move that can be learned by the Gun Mage called Cry in the Night. So, that's the only reason why you should be fighting this thing, besides me showing off what type of monster you're facing. And as you can see, we're in the early 90s. But that'll change pretty soon. Anyway, next monster is the Elder Drake. That monster is going to be showing up as a regular monster and an unavoidable random encounter, so I might as well show him off where it's not really a random encounter that you can't avoid. And that asshole just killed off Riku, just like that. This is the type of thing you're gonna have to deal with this thing. The strategy would be to use Quartet Knife to cause armor and power break on the Elder Drake. And if you have a catnip person, by all means make sure she's still alive, even though that damn thing keeps killing her. It only's got 34,000 HP, but when it oversouls, that's when it gets worse. You want your trigger happy to go off real quickly to kill it, and kill it fast. Otherwise, it's gonna keep doing this. And notice that Riku is, well, at really, really low health. That's because, again, I got out of a fight with Megaton Berry. You're gonna need catnip for the rest of the stage, because guess what? There are gonna be some enemies that will go down fast with it. But first, here is the Cloister that I miss that's found in the 60s. Plain and simple, you want to try to do your best to avoid the Megaton Berry if you haven't already fought it, or if you haven't already gotten Cry in the Night. I mean, if you've already gotten Cry in the Night, sorry. If you want Cry in the Night so badly, by all means, just, again, follow the strategy of lowering its health to where it's 25% of its health left, and then just simply make sure you have some protection against Cry in the Night, because it really hits hard, and I mean it really hits hard. By the way, the path that I'm going will lead you straight to the portal that'll send you back upstairs, but the other path is different. This path, you will have to fight either 2 regular Tonberries or 1 big Tonberry. Preferably fight the 2 regular Tonberries, because of the fact that it's a hassle to fight that big Tonberry. It really is. And the only thing it gives you is twin stars. So, yeah. This is the only unique... Well, actually, this is one of the unique designs that will be spammed to death in Cloisters 81 through 99. So, there's that. There's a Tonberry there, there's a Megaton Berry in the middle, and there's a Tonberry on the right. Yeah, as you can wholeheartedly see. We're gonna go and fight the Tonberries themselves. I mean, we have to face the Tonberries. it's kind of a mandatory thing since there are bosses here, and they're the only things that's keeping you from getting through progress. And as you can see, my level went up dramatically because of me coming down here. Yes, I know this place gives you lots of experience points, but let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, you don't really need them. Oh, and by the way, I would also want to mention that I lucked up. Oh, by the way, I cut off that battle because I've already fought a Tonberry. Anyway, I also want to mention that while I was down in the Cloisters, in the 80s Cloisters, I rarely found a black elemental except for a few fights. Now then, we're gonna go over to start fighting those extra monsters, starting with Lacerta. Lacerta only uses Rend, and it's got very high speed and very high defense. However, its HP is shit and will fall down quickly to trigger happy. God forbid if it oversouls, it uses Desperation Attack, which will kill one of your party members instantly. Next up is Critical Bug. Critical Bug is a fiend that uses ice and water attacks. The thing about... oh no, it's Fire and Thunder, that's right. The thing about Critical Bug you need to know is Critical Bug is just like King Vermin, except it's a stronger version of it. But it can die at the hands of Arsenic Knife or Stone Knife, or any stone or instant death weapon you can find. That's the one good thing about this particular enemy. God forbid if it's Oversoul, because it will target your Dress Spheres by Gun type, Magic type, or Dress Sphere type. Magic type, sorry. Speaking of things that target, this is Insect Matriarch. Insect Matriarch has less HP than her counterpart Critical Bug, but it uses water and ice. The thing about her, when she oversouls, she targets the person's Dress Sphere, not... No, she targets a person, not the Dress Sphere, that's the thing. You'll know when she's coming. The other guy just targets the Dress Sphere, so that's all that's new. And lastly, this is the Mushroom Cloud. It only has 9,199, but it regens and has really high defense, except it falls really quickly to catnip. It is a good thing you do, because if you don't, that thing will use Ultima, and it will use Pernicious Powder that will pull about a plethora of bad stats, including Stop. So yeah, that's all that's in Via Infinito, and now I'm going to go on to the Farplanes to actually get an enemy that should have been in Via Infinito, at least the last couple of Cloisters. But I didn't, because of the fact that I didn't want the hassle. This guy shows up in the last couple of Cloisters, and this is your punishment for going through the gate if you do not activate the puzzle correctly. Simply use, I don't know if it's actually immune to armor break. I don't know if it's immune to armor... No, wait, no, actually it's not immune to armor break. Just simply use Chef's Knife if you can, but physical attacks work just fine. It can be delayed, and more importantly, it will use Belated Breath, but it's not as tough as you think. However, you can oversoul this guy by only fighting 3 of them. But now that I've beat him, Ozzy the Hawk-Up from here on in will show up between Cloisters 91 to 99 for the remainder of the game, until I beat the game, that is. He will not show up again if you beat the game, obviously. You'll have to actually re-fight this guy in the Farplanes in order to have him show up again. But with that said, ladies and gents, almost all except for Yuna is at max level. And that's all the enemies that will show up between Cloisters 81 through 99. And speaking of which, that's Cloisters 99. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to activate the switch to get me out of this place. To get me out of this fucking hellhole. Because fuck this stage. Fuck those enemies I just faced. And more importantly, I hate Bevelle. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we've come down to Cloister Infinity, or Cloister 100, whichever one you come first. And staring at me is Lord Zayon. Oh, but we're going to be dealing with him and Trema. So what does he have to do with all this? Well, you'll just have to find out in the next episode, as I am hitting the surface as quickly as humanly possible. I will have to make arrangements in order to beat this. So with that said, you probably will not be able to see this until next week. The finale will be next week because, of course, I gotta do things to make this fight as easy as humanly possible. Because let's face it, Paragon sucks. So with that said, folks, I'll see you guys in the finale when we face Paragon and Trema in Part 5. This is RVman985. I'll say it till the day I die, I hate Bevelle.